Hello kids! In this video, we're going to learn about changes in matter. Look at the glass of ice water. What is formed on the outer part of the glass? What will happen to the ice in the water after a while? How do we change the water back into ice? Physical changes. Changes are taking place around us all the time. Here are some examples of changes that we can see in our daily life. Melting of ice, cooking of food, dissolving of sugar in coffee, boiling of water, rusting of iron nails, burning of matchstick. The changes happening around us can be categorized into physical changes and chemical changes. Which of the examples mentioned are physical changes? Why? In a physical change, the size, shape, color, and states of matter of the substance may change but no new substance is formed. An example of physical change is the changes in the states of matter. Heat causes the changes in states of matter. What will happen to the cubes that are left on a table? The ice cubes gain heat from their surroundings and change into a water, a liquid. This process is known as melting or fusion. If we put some water into a freezer, it will cool and change into ice, a solid. This process is known as freezing or solidification. When water is heated, it boils and changes into steam, a very hot gas. This process is known as boiling or vaporization. Steam is an invisible and colorless gas. When steam is cooled, it will change into water. This process is called condensation. Water can turn into water vapor, a gas, at room temperature through evaporation. Water vapor is also an invisible and colorless gas. Can you explain how our wet clothes get dry? Water vapor in the air changes into water when it is cooled by a cold object, like the glass of ice water. Water droplets are formed on the outer part of the glass. This is also an example of condensation. At an extremely low temperature, water vapor in the air cools and changes into ice or frost, a solid, without passing through the liquid state. This process is known as deposition. At room temperature, dry ice, also known as solid carbon dioxide, gains heat from its surroundings and changes into gas without passing through the liquid state. This process is called sublimation. Dry ice is usually used to create a low-lying fog effect in theaters and cockpits. Do you notice that no new substances are formed when changes in state of matter occur as shown? These processes can also be undone or reversed. For example, we can freeze water to make ice. The ice can be changed back to water by heating. Therefore, beside being physical changes, changes in states of matter are also reversible changes. Changes in state of matter can be summarized in the diagram below. Some substances dissolve in water. For example, when salt is added to water, the salt dissolves in water. We can say that salt is soluble in water. Its particles spread evenly among the water particles and form a salt solution. A solution is a homogeneous mixture that has a uniform appearance and composition throughout. The salt solution looks clear and does not settle down. In this process, no new substance is formed. Therefore, dissolving salt in water is a physical change. Can we get the salt back from the salt water? We can get the salt from a salt solution by evaporating the water from the salt solution. Therefore, the dissolving of salt in water is a reversible change. Not all substances dissolve in water. For example, sand and chalk powder do not dissolve in water. They are insoluble in water. When sand is added into water and stirred, the sand will just sink to the bottom. No changes occur here. However, not all physical changes are reversible. Tearing a piece of paper into pieces is considered a physical change, as the size and shape of the paper have changed and no new substance is formed. We cannot put the small pieces of paper back into a piece. Therefore, this is an irreversible change. Cutting of hair is a physical change. The length of the hair is reduced, but no new substance is formed. We cannot rejoin the cut hair. Therefore, this change is irreversible. Breaking up an egg is a physical change. Why? Can we undo the process? Is this change reversible or irreversible? Is cutting up wood into logs a physical change? Why? Is this change reversible or irreversible? Explain. Is peeling of an orange a physical change? Why? Can we undo this change? Is this change irreversible or irreversible? Let's think. Mother is ironing a wrinkled shirt. Is the shirt undergoing a physical change? Can this change be reversed? How do you reverse this change? Give one suggestion. Chemical changes. In a chemical change, a chemical reaction occurs in the substances and it produces new substances. For example, baking a bread is a chemical change. We mix ingredients such as flour, sugar, water, butter, and yeast, and bake the dough in an oven. The dough absorbs the heat from the oven and it undergoes a chemical change. We can see that the dough rises slowly, turns brown. We can smell the aroma of the freshly baked bread when it is done. Therefore, this process has changed the mixed ingredients into a new substances, that is a bread. Can we get the ingredients back from the bread? We cannot get the ingredients back from the bread. Therefore, chemical changes are irreversible changes. Heat can cause chemical changes and produce new substances. When sugar is heated, it breaks down into new substances. A black solid is formed and water vapor is also released. This change is irreversible because the new substances cannot be changed back to sugar. Do you notice the clumps formed when you add vinegar to warm milk? Mixing vinegar with warm milk forms new substances, which are curd, clumps of white solid, and weak liquid. This change is also irreversible. If we add baking soda into a glass of vinegar, bubbles will appear. The bubbles contain carbon dioxide gas. The temperature of the solution will also decrease. This is a chemical change and it is irreversible. Burning is a chemical change, and this process forms new substances when the wood is burnt. What new substances are produced? Can this change be reversed? What happens when an iron object is rusted? What is formed? Is rusting irreversible? Thanks!